You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
John Abraham here with Bobcat of Huntsville. Men, the season is upon us. This is what all the playbooks have prepared us for. But here, there's no need for a 3-4 defense because we're not talking about the football season. We're talking about the get-done season. Starting August 13th, Bobcat of Huntsville will have a full line of steel products for you to throw at those jobs you've been putting off until now. So put away those fantasy draft notes and pick up the tool you've been waiting for because it's time to get it done. Bobcat of Huntsville, run off of Highway 20 in Madison.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
TalentHVAC.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
When the final whistle blows, the conversation is just getting started. Catch the Alabama Football Recap Show with Drew DeArmond and Steve Moulton on 97.7 The Zone. Brought to you by Dreamland Barbecue in Huntsville, proud title sponsor of the Recap Show. Because when it comes to football and ribs, everybody knows ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. Alabama football, Dreamland Barbecue, the perfect team.
We are your home for Sparkman football.
Williams going to keep it. Roll to his left.
He's getting there.
He is in. Senators take a lead.
What have we witnessed in Harvest tonight?
The Senator Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Tuesday, September the 9th. Welcome into The Drive, live here from the Ledges. Why are we up here on Falcon Crest? Well, we're up here for the Huntsville Quarterback Club meeting coming up here later on tonight, and there'll be a trio of former Alabama offensive linemen, including Hoss Johnson, as well as Gary Otten, and some guy by the name of Wes Neighbors. So that is why we have ascended. So if you know your Druinary, that is the theme from Falcon Crest that Drew has dubbed this place up here on top of I can't make it through straight. I can't do it. I really can't do it. All right, let's move on, shall we? Morning show got a lot of material out of that when the golf tournament was up here for a couple of years. Missed that golf tournament, but nonetheless, we are back up here for the Huntsville Quarterback Club. Incidentally, you can check out the main room on WZZN TV as we're in the little foyer area out in front. Well, we're the greeters, evidently, out here greeting folks as they are coming on in.
Did some guy really ask you to park his car, Steve?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I did get a couple of looks in terms of they were setting up the engineer guys, and they thought I was part of that crew, which I took as a compliment. But still, nonetheless, there's that. So traffic is a little bit of a mess, at least getting up to here. So Wes is a few minutes behind, but it's all good. Luke Fickle, who's taking his Wisconsin Badgers down to Tuscaloosa. And by the way, I just looked it up. Alabama is still, where is it? And now a 21.5-point favorite over Wisconsin this weekend. But it's a game that, according to Coach Fickle, they have circled.
Hey, Coach, still early in the week, but what's the excitement and preparation you feel and your team feels for hitting the road for the first time this year at a program like Alabama?
Well, this is one of those ones that I know guys, had circled for many reasons, right? Obviously, the way things went last year, but also for the idea, like, look, there's nothing more that you want to do as a competitor than be in the biggest games and the biggest competition out there, and to go to Alabama to play in front of that crowd, to go down there to play, in the SEC country. I think that there's not a guy within our program that isn't say that's one of the reasons why they're here. And so it's only Monday, and we haven't seen what that actually looks like as you go out to practice. But where last week, on a Monday and a Tuesday, there was a coach that was prodding guys and making sure they understood the urgency and the things that we had to be able to do every single day in practice. That won't be the case this week. So that's sometimes the thing about coaching. You kind of recognize when you really got to get the prod out and when you got to kind of, even step back and let these guys kind of be the leaders that they are and be the emotions that they are and have the week that they will. And so this is one of those ones, there's no doubt that these guys are going to be excited about.
No prod needed, as well as in Knoxville, Tennessee, as Georgia opened up as a 5.5-point favorite in Knoxville, taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. That number has dwindled down to 3.5 points, as Jimmy Himes is kind enough to join us here out of the gate on a Tuesday to talk about this matchup in particular. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you doing?
Doing real well. It's boy, Tennessee has surprised me a little bit, especially the physicality defensively. What's your take on what you've seen out of Tennessee in the first two games, Jimmy?
They look pretty good. Joey Aguilar has actually played better than I expected. You got to remember, this guy is trying to run an up-tempo offense, and he didn't have the benefit of going through spring practice. But he's made a lot of the right decisions. He was a little bit off target early against Syracuse, but he calmed down. He was really on target against ETSU. Of his first 20 or so passes, he only really misfired on one or two. And so he looks comfortable. He looks confident. He looks poised. Now, this is a whole different ballgame going against Georgia. I get that. But he's looked really good so far. And so that part has been impressive. And I like Tennessee's running backs. Defensively, Tennessee's got 3 injuries on their front line, and that could be problematic depth-wise. They're also going to be without their two starting cornerbacks. One of the cornerbacks has played really well, Colton Hood, the transfer from Colorado, and then Ty Redmond's a true freshman starting at the other corner. So, and then the safety position to me has been kind of average. This secondary has held up so far, but with your two starting cornerbacks out and you're a little iffy at secondary, I wonder a little bit about the defense. So the defense has been banged up a little bit, and that could be an issue against Georgia.
Jimmy, wouldn't you agree, though, that this team's a lot better on the last two games than you ever anticipated?
They are better.
I mean,
now, ETSU is okay. I picked Tennessee to only score 52, and they scored 72. So I was off. Against Syracuse, offensively, they've been more efficient than I thought they would be. Defensively, it's been okay. They got a lot of points and passing yards to Syracuse. But offensively, they've been better than I thought they would be. I still am not sold on the wide receivers. I know two of them had over 100 yards against ETSU, but you got to consider the competition. And the offensive line has not been tested. They've got 4 new starters up front. One of their projected starters, the true freshman David Sanders, hasn't played yet with some type of a shoulder injury. So offensively, yes, they've been better. Defensively, about what I thought.
This series in particular, Georgia has won 8 straight meetings, but it especially the longer this tenure is going for Josh Heupel, the more I'm impressed. Honestly, I know we talked in the offseason, honestly, Jimmy, and I've seen more out of Tennessee than I have Georgia. Have you seen Georgia at all so far this year?
Yeah, and I haven't been impressed. But I have seen Georgia do this. Kirby Smart is never going to beat somebody 72-17. He just isn't going to do it. His offense isn't geared that way. He's not geared that way. He'll take his foot off the pedal. But I have seen Georgia kind of play possum. And then when they have a big game, they come out and they play well. So I'm not going to be fooled by what Georgia's look like, although I do think it's going to be interesting. Joey Aguilar's played so well that I wonder, can he win the quarterback battle over Gunnar Stockton? I don't know the answer to that yet. If Aguilar outplays Stockton, Tennessee can win this football game. But he's got to be able to outplay him. The other thing that Georgia's been able to do, and very, very few teams have done this against Heupel, when Tennessee spreads the field and they have what they consider to be the numbers advantage in the box in the run game, Georgia stops them anyway. Because they got people like Jalen Carter and Williams and these studs in there. And so Tennessee hadn't been able to run the ball on Georgia. And if Georgia can stop the run when Tennessee spreads it again, then that's a huge advantage for the Bulldogs.
Wide receiver-wise, I know catching the ball has been a bit of an issue in the first couple of games for Georgia. The tight end room, I know, has also been a point of contention from what I'm reading and also hearing from Kirby, especially in his press conference yesterday. And I wish I had an honest-to-goodness feeling about this matchup up on Rocky Top. Do you have a poll one way or another for how's it going to go Saturday? I don't.
Yeah, I do, but I've been wrong so often, I should tell you. I think this game is going to be a lot like it was a few years ago when it was like 27-13.
Okay.
I don't see Tennessee scoring a lot of points on Georgia. They never score more than 17 on Georgia, at least when Heupel's been there. And they've seldom done it during this 8-game losing streak. And I just don't know if Tennessee defensively is going to be able to hold up with the injuries. I mentioned 3 defensive linemen that are out. Linebackers are healthy. And I mentioned several defensive backs that are out. So I think Georgia, I can see Georgia winning by about 10, 20-10, 27-17, something in that range.
Do you think that Tennessee will be able to block Georgia's defensive line? Because I believe the defensive line, they got 2 guys that are really good. And that's where I would be concerned. Because that's how Tennessee wins this game, is protect the quarterback.
Yeah, and they have protected the quarterback so far, and they've run the football very well, but the competition isn't like Georgia. Do I think Tennessee can run the ball on Georgia? I'm going to define it this way. If Tennessee can run for 125 or more yards on Georgia, that is a successful day. Because Tennessee has trouble cracking 100 yards. Sometimes they have trouble cracking 80 against Georgia's front. So if they can do that, I don't know if they can. This is a rebuilt offensive line. They got 1 returning starter. The first game of the year, with the injury at right tackle. So they moved the right guard to right tackle. They moved the left guard to right guard. They moved in a new starter who never played hardly at all at left guard, and they started a center from Notre Dame. So that's the patchwork offensive line. They have fared well in their first two games, but those first two games ain't Georgia. So I do think Tennessee is going to struggle up front against Georgia's defense, which now this is not the dominant Georgia defense or the dominant Georgia teams we have seen, but it's still a very talented team.
The running backs, I mean, listen, I see Star Thomas, Deshaun Bishop. Running styles, are these guys pretty similar, or is there a big difference in what you see running style-wise between Thomas, Bishop, Lewis? Heck, I'll even throw in Morris.
There is a different running style. With Star Thomas, he's got a little bit more wiggle about him, and he's more likely to break it outside, and he's also a very good receiving running back. Deshaun Bishop dropped the pass out of the backfield. I don't think they'll throw it much to him. He has become a power back. He is chiseled. Remember, this guy was a former walk-on that nobody really wanted except Coastal Carolina. He bettered himself by going to Tennessee, and now he's their starting running back. And he is a good, solid player. And Peyton Lewis, he's a bigger back. He's got sprinter speed, but he's a bigger back that doesn't have the wiggle or the moves that Bishop or Star Thomas have. And I'll tell you what, Star Thomas is a third-team running back. I'm not so sure he isn't their best back. I wouldn't be surprised if he leads the team in the combination of receiving and rushing yards. He's a good player.
Boo Carter, we've kind of chronicled his off-the-field issues, but at least is showing up. And the punt return game as well really had gosh, I'm trying to think of the exact run that I saw. I think that was against East Tennessee. But so, I mean, despite all of the off-the-field issues, how do you think Boo is performing for Tennessee?
I think he's performing really well, especially the punt return. He had 4 for 94 yards against ETSU. He had a 40-yard run back. He had another run back of about 30 yards.
Yeah.
I would play him some on offense. I think he's maybe the most dynamic player that they might have with the ball under his arm. You can throw him a flanker screen, and he can break a tackle. Or if somebody wants to cheat at the line of scrimmage against him, then they will go route to him. But I think he could. I think he could be an asset on offense, just because if you ask me which player has the best chance to take a flanker screen and gain 10, 15, 20 yards, it's Boo Carter. So I'll be curious to see if Tennessee uses him any on offense. He is not starting on defense. He's not playing a great deal of snaps on defense, but he is playing. And with the injuries they've had in the secondary, I wouldn't be surprised to see him. I don't know about starting against Georgia, but starting pretty soon.
Well, it would not surprise me, at least, and I'm glad you helped me refresh my memory right there. And it was against East Tennessee, but I really wouldn't be surprised at all to see him play a bigger role this weekend, just because of that electricity, honestly, that I saw. I know it was against East Tennessee, but you can't hide that talent, and he's got it.
Yeah, he does. And he led the SEC in punt returns a year ago. He averaged right at 16.8 last season, which is one reason he was all SEC before the year, because of his punt returning ability. So, yeah, he can be a game changer. And I'll be curious to see how Tennessee uses him against Georgia. Now, if they withheld him on offense intentionally, or maybe they don't intend to play him on offense against Georgia, I don't know the answer to that. But, man, if I'm playing Georgia and they're going against that defense, I'm gonna see if I can get the ball under Boo Carter's hands a few times and see what he can do with it.
Well, I don't know how often you tune into the SEC shorts, but I do on a regular basis just to get their take. But I the very first video that played last week ended with a Tennessee fan late night viewing of a UCLA game with a big smile on their face. How real do you think that is for Vol Nation?
Oh, there are a number of them like that. I'll even go back to this, and I don't know why they want to hang on to this, but years ago there was a basketball coach named Conzo Martin that had an agreement on the contract. Tennessee offered him a very, in his opinion, ridiculously low buyout, so he left to go to Cal. And so Tennessee fans would post each time Cal lost a basketball game. Who the heck cares in Knoxville what's going on in basketball out in California? So, yeah, they got a long memory about that kind of stuff. They trolled Lane Kiffin when he left to go to Southern Cal. So I'm not surprised at that. But I will say this, and this isn't going back and saying, oh, Nico left, so this is what I feel. I always thought Nico was a little bit overrated. I never put him in. People were talking about him in the Heisman Trophy race. I thought that was absurd. I just think he's an above-average quarterback with a lot of talent, but he's only an above-average quarterback. And I think Aguilar will have a better year this year, statistically and record-wise, than Nico's going to have at UCLA. So I think Nico made a huge mistake, but people around here need to let that go. He's at UCLA. Now you got your quarterback, which you should be hoping. You shouldn't be hoping that Nico fails. You should be hoping that Aguilar succeeds. That's what's more important.
That's very well put. Well, the last time game day was in Knoxville, Wes isn't going to like this, October 15th, 2022, when the Vols down to Alabama 52-49, and that thing was a track meet. And that thing was that was an unbelievable game there in 22. Any chance this game can live up to that game?
No, neither team can score 40 points at 52. No, the combined score might be 40 points. And I'll say this, and I've covered Tennessee for 40 years, and I've seen some great quarterbacks and great quarterback matchups. That's the best quarterback matchup I've ever seen at Neyland Stadium. Hendon Hooker against Bryce Young. They were both phenomenal. And that's how you got to, 52-49, whatever it was.
That's right.
No, these two offenses aren't that good. These two quarterbacks aren't that good. It could be a close game, but it will not have the electricity of that Tennessee-Alabama game for 2022. Also, and this was kind of a side note, but I tore my meniscus a little bit before that game and had surgery, and I went in to see my doctor after the surgery, and he told me that they had a record number of meniscus surgeries because the Tennessee fans jumped onto the field and tore their meniscus, and so they had a record number of surgeries the week after the Alabama game.
I hate to say this, that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't want anybody getting hurt.
No, he's not, Jimmy. No, he's not.
Oh God.
I've thoroughly been impressed with Tennessee, and I'm actually heading up to Rocky Top this weekend because I really don't know what I'm going to see, but I think I'm going to see two really good teams, and we're going to figure out at least the early part of this deal.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a really good game, and I think if Tennessee can get a few breaks along the way, they got a chance to win it. I did notice, and this isn't my stat, somebody else looked it up. Georgia's lost 5 games the last 4 years. Every one of those games, they've lost the turnover battle. And their 5 worst rushing days have been in each of those 5 losses. So there's your key. If Tennessee can win the turnover battle and they can contain Georgia's run game, they got a pretty good chance to win it. But I'll go back to this again. I think whichever team's quarterback plays the best, I think that team's going to win.
And I think Aguilar has got a puncher's chance with more than a puncher's chance with Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah. I do too. And this is the first road game for Gunnar Stockton. So who knows? The first road game for the guy that's almost anointed the Heisman Trophy, Arch Manning went up to Ohio State and had that work out. And then Bryce Underwood, the 5-star quarterback from Michigan, he went to Oklahoma, had that work out. He was 9 out of 24. So when these guys who don't have much experience go on the road in a hostile environment, we've seen them struggle. So maybe Stockton plays great, but maybe the crowd gets to him. Maybe Georgia has 5 illegal procedure penalties. Who knows? But it's just a different animal. It's a different animal for Tennessee playing a caliber team like Georgia, but it's a different animal for Stockton facing a crowd like Neyland Stadium in his first road start. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, but that works if you keep it close, right? And get a lead. I think that's
right.
what. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to me. I've been impressed with Tennessee, but as they haven't played anybody like Georgia, but Georgia hadn't played anybody like Tennessee either. So it's going to be fun to watch.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
One sidebar note, I cannot help but want to bring up Vanderbilt and what they did up in Blacksburg. I mean, listen, I know Virginia Tech is not a top 10 team or not a lot expected of them, but to do that on the road, that it impressed me. What about you, Jim?
It was a pretty close game, and then Vanderbilt just annihilated Virginia Tech in the second half. And, yeah, I was very impressed with what they did. Diego Pavia is not the best quarterback in this league, but by golly, he is generated a lot of excitement, a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger in that Vanderbilt program. So they're going to end up getting back to a bowl game. I don't think they're going to beat Alabama and Tennessee like Pavia predicted, but I think that they will get back in the bowl. They will still beat some pretty good teams on their schedule. They're a tough out. They're a tough out, and they play with a lot of confidence. They got a really good tight end. They got a really good running back. Pavia is a very good leader and a tough guy. You know, the guy was a wrestler, a high school wrestler. He's a tough cookie. So I was impressed with Vanderbilt, and I think, look, they're not going to go 9-3 or anything like that, but I do think they will be a bowl team. And a year ago, they had a stunning upset. They may pull an upset against a pretty good team this year as well.
I don't have a good feel on the Vanderbilt-South Carolina game either, Jimmy. I mean, there's a lot of games, conference games this weekend that I don't have a good feel as to where these programs are.
Yeah, that South Carolina game for Vanderbilt, that's going to be interesting. South Carolina sleptwalked the first part of the South Carolina State game. Heck, if they hadn't had all these punt returns in some of their games, 2 last week and 1 the week before, you know, their offense has been pretty pedestrian. So I think Vanderbilt, South Carolina is going to be a heck of a game. I could see each of those teams getting into the 30s as far as points.
And then Florida LSU. I mean, I know everybody is already putting Billy to take a long walk off of a short pier already. But I mean, that we were at this point this time a year ago, it felt like, and he was able to turn it around.
He was able to turn it around. He turned it around after Scott Strickland gave him a vote of confidence. I don't know if he can get a vote of confidence if they start 1-5, and they might. But it's not just LSU. They got Miami, and then they got Texas, and then they got at Texas A&M. That's a brutal stretch. And if you can't beat South Florida, I'm not sure which of those 4 teams they play next they're going to beat. So I think there's a really good chance they'll be 1-5, 2-3 at best.
I'm excited to see the Georgia-Tennessee game in a big way. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, and can't thank you enough for hopping on and helping it break it down for us, sir.
You got it, guys. Y'all have a great evening. You take care.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
That's Jimmy Himes, the real Jimmy Himes, not all the fake accounts on Twitter. I think at one point he said there was 24 different Jimmy Himes on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. But that was the real Jimmy Himes to break down. And by the way, you'll be able to hear that game over on Talk Radio, WZZN, as it's our HD.2 channel. You can download that app as well. It is also the home for the Rocket City Trash Pandas, who begin their final week of the year tonight. So we are up here. Falcon.
What's their record?
I don't know, but it has not been a banner season for the Trash Pandas. I do know that. But nonetheless, they break it into halves and all that.
The first half winner,
second half winner, and all that.
Second half winner,
yeah.
Right.
So, but there is quite a few Trash Pandas playing with the big boys up in the Angels organization for the Los Angeles Angels, and they're playing better. And it was nice to see Ron Washington back, at least temporarily, as he is still recovering from I think it was quadruple bypass surgery with that major heart issue that he had earlier in the year. Anyway, just getting things started up here on Falcon Crest. Yeah. Drew's going to be up here. Coach Johnson, I see him. He's up here as well. I'm hoping we might finally get a guest that I've been chasing down a good bit. We'll see whether or not that will happen. And it's not Haas. Well, but it's always great to see Haas and talk to Haas.
No doubt about that.
So we will be on here for the next couple of hours, walking you up to Braves baseball as the Braves and Cubbies continue their series there in Marietta, there North Atlanta. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. We're live up here on the ledges at the Huntsville Quarterback Club. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just in time for early fall adventures, what could be better than zero down on a new Ford? That sounds good to me. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's football and camping season, and we've got a brand new Ford to take you there. Right now, Woody Anderson Ford has some strong $399 and $499 leases that come with zero down and 2 years of premium complimentary maintenance too. Choose a 2025 STX Crew Cab with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost for just $499 a month. Or choose its electric brother, the F-150 Lightning, just $399 a month. Woody Anderson Ford also has 25 Broncos, Explorers for $499 a month, and Bronco Sport and Escape for only $399 a month. And remember, these leases are zero down, and they come with 2 years of complimentary maintenance. 36-month leases with zero down, first payment due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax, tag, and title fees, and your good credit. These offers end 9/30/25. Now's the time for a Woody Anderson Ford. I'm Bobby White, and we hope to see you soon.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile, and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99, or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Have you seen the beautiful new Nexus apartment community right next to UAH? Nexus is designed exclusively for students. You'll love having private bedrooms and bathrooms, a fully furnished kitchen, and incredible amenities like 2 courtyards, a refreshing pool with grilling stations, and TV, gaming, and study lounges, all within an easy walk to campus and your classes. If you want the full collegiate experience, come take a personal tour at Nexus today. Log on nexusonhomes.com to see more, including limited time rate specials.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here on the ledges, getting ready for a big night for West Neighbors. You nervous? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not smart enough to be nervous. No, I'm not nervous.
We just kind of assumed you'd have to wear a
myself,
suit. We just kind of assumed you didn't wear a suit tonight.
no, I didn't wear a suit. I do
is-
wear a suit, but I called Hoss.
Yeah.
And Hoss said he's not wearing a suit. So I said, I'm not going to wear
You
it.
know, he's a trendsetter. I'd go with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love Hoss is one of my favorite people in the world. Even though I had a blackest guy half the time.
There it is. There it is. I have
my hands hurting today. When I used to have to stick up extra when his guy was breaking in the middle. The hardest lick I took in college was from Hoss Johnson. 100%. Hit me right in the ribs. Hard as he could as I was blocking his guy. I squirted out of there just in time to see. It was the game we're talking about tonight. In that game was Auburn, Alabama game. And it was on Sheila through to Gene Jelks on the sideline to set up 4th and 4. Yeah. I'll never forget it because it hurt like hell. I couldn't hardly breathe the next play. I was going, who hit me? I had no idea in the game. You know, you just turn around, nobody's there. Just, you know. Then in the film, yeah, he speared me. It should have been targeted.
Well, we just got through breaking down Tennessee, Georgia a little bit, and
the big thing to me is, first of all, Georgia offensive line is young. They're huge. Biggest offensive line of the Southeast Conference, I'd have to guess. As a whole, they're all huge. Smallest guy's the center is coordinator's son. Really, he's a good player. Was walk out at one time.
Bobo.
Yeah, and then they have one of the most dynamic players in the Southeastern Conference, came from USC, number 1.
Yep.
I talked about him in practice. He's done really well the first 2 games. Is there a big play guy? The way Tennessee wins is just by attrition, getting stops, Georgia making errors. But Georgia has to help them, I think, for Tennessee to win. The crowd can't be in it if you're not ahead.
The portal has been awfully kind to Tennessee in terms of what they've got production-wise out of the portal. And Josh,
I think that's because they're good coaches.
Well,
they really are.
Josh Heupel was asked about that in particular.
You know, through the recruiting process and the portal recruiting is sped up. I think our personnel staff, our coaches have done a great job. Background identifying the traits that we look for in recruiting, not just portal guys, but high school guys as well. And been able to attract the right player and the right type of kid here. I also think our leadership here is a big part of that too, and helping onboard those guys and get them going in the right direction right away.
The big road environment was brought up to Kirby Smart as the Dogs are making their way up to Rocky Top.
Well, I think it's a mental disposition, and it's part of your planning. You know, there's certain things you can do at home that you can't do on the road. You have to be smart as a game planner, what kind of situations you put your team in and where the field position is, what's the down and distance, and your approach to your game planning is, defensively and offensively, you have to think about that. And me being in this league for a long time, it plays a factor on the ability to execute when you're in an environment that maybe someone's never been in, and you have to be smart about what you're asking them to execute. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. Who can execute, who can block and tackle, and who can be physical.
He's right about that. I mean, who can be physical? You have to be physical. You have to.
Georgia opened
if
up.
If you're physical in the first quarter, it'll help you win the fourth quarter.
Georgia opened up as a 5.5-point favorite. It's now down to a 3.5-point favorite And I understand what Jimmy is saying in terms of once in a while you see Georgia playing possum, and they have in the past. I just don't think they have that roster that they had a couple of years ago. It's something we've talked about, and I don't think they're playing possum.
Well, I don't know about possum. It's not the right word. They just don't run the score up. I don't think possum. Yeah. They've had bad games, and they've had inconsistent games. But they got better every week, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So I don't think they don't go and think playing possum. That makes no sense whatsoever. To me, it's all about getting better every week. And if you can do that, that's what gives you a chance to be and keep from losing these games, which they do.
Yeah, yeah.
Or have. And that's what makes the biggest difference. I mean, you just got to find a way to win the games that you struggle in and get better every week, and then hope you don't have a mass of injuries like they did last year.
We chronicled with Jimmy the running back room, be it Star Thomas, Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, Morris as well has played a role early. And Kirby had this to say on Tennessee's running back room.
Well, they've always played a lot of backs. So they have multiple backs that come in the game. They're very physical. I mean, they're all 210, 215-pound guys. They run downhill. They don't sit there and try to attack sideline. They get vertical. You know, they hit us last year on vertical run. Very patient runners, well coached. They have a lot of schemes in their run game because of the formation variation they use. But they're committed to it. Like it's physical within and their offensive line play extremely physical. They are very intentional with their bumps and their doubles. They attack you and they try to get you out of your gaps, and they spread you out. I mean, they do a really good job in the run game.
That is Kirby Smart on the Vols run game, but I'm excited to see this game, but I mean, even
everybody talked last week. There weren't going to be very many good games. I thought there were several.
Yeah,
good
yeah,
games. Fact,
I did too.
I couldn't get my TV to do the 4 I wanted because I wanted to watch. I didn't get to watch enough of the Vanderbilt game.
You watched the Mississippi State Arizona State game?
Well, I had parts of it.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes when I watch 4 games, I'm not watching any.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
And I was wanting to concentrate on the Alabama and Auburn, and I was trying to do that, and it's even hard to do that to get a feel for the game. And I really wanted to make sure I watched the freshmen for Alabama and see how they did because I've been bragging on them so much. And to me, they've gotten even better than they were when I saw them. Alabama has a special freshman class again, and that's what to me they got to keep getting better and then go win on the road.
That's in a couple of weeks. By the way, Georgia has a bye week as well.
Oh, yeah, just like last
before
year.
Before the Alabama-Georgia game coming up on the 27th. So keep that in mind, Bama fans. Luke Fickell was asked this, and I don't know, do you have a problem with 11 a.m. Central?
Oh, yeah, hate them. Worst game I ever played. Played great the second half. The first half, I was still asleep.
So that is something Coach Fickell was asked about, how much we hate 11 a.m. games.
Luke, is there anything you can do this week to simulate the stadium environment? I know it's an early game, and they always complain about that down there, but how do you?
What do they complain? I didn't know that.
They don't like early games.
Okay.
They get really mad about them.
Well, good.
Is there anything?
I don't think they asked us what time we wanted to play, though. Yes. I mean, we're going to play the music. We'll be prepared better than we were last year when we went to Iowa. That's what I can truly say. And that might have been one of those ones that I don't say it caught you off guard, but it was maybe even louder than what we had expected. And I know that we had a plan going in there. It was more of a third down plan. It wasn't a first and second down plan, but then we had to adjust. It was one of those things, that we'll never be in that position again. So all week we'll be, going with some different cadence things and put a little bit more on the guys up front to make sure we're all on the same page. We started that last night in our Sunday practice. Can you really get the noise as loud as it's going to be on Saturday? I don't think we can, but we'll surely try.
Well, the best way, as Coach Saban says, to shut them up is go down there and whip their ass in the first quarter, and then watch them sit on their hands. And that's what, if you're coaching, that's what you have to preach, I guess, So it's important for Alabama to keep them, and let me talk about this too. I was very impressed with the fans after all the negativity, which I don't think half the people that are negative, or more than half, are Alabama fans. There's certainly some.
I hear you.
But I was impressed with the crowd last week. It looked like they were playing for the national championship. I mean, it really did. I was really impressed with them, and they had a lot to cheer for, no doubt.
So I brought up yesterday Michael Carroll, and he impressed quite a few people along the offensive line. Kalen DeBoer was asked about Michael, and here is what he had to say in addition to the offensive line and how they looked this past weekend against Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, I love the way he plays. He plays hard. He plays really hard. And, he, along with, we talk about lots here, and we play a lot of freshmen, we play a lot of young guys in a lot of different areas, special teams and offense, defense. And I think he was one of those guys that, again, is taking those steps, did a nice job, got his first real action at the college level. And so, again, just like we talked about the quarterback, the competition just helps everyone. It helps Michael, and his motivation to continue to get better every single day, be his best. It helps Wilkin, at guard, we had guys rotating in as well between Jaden and Gino. Across the board, the guy sends a message that we're going to keep trying to find the guys who really give us the best chance to win.
That is Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Well, when he's talking about a message, that means he's looking for the starter still. He's looking for somebody that wants to play and be consistent every down. And
good to have quality depth as well.
No question. Yeah, no question about that.
But the offensive line is a different animal because it's not about just one person. That group has to play together. So that's something to factor in as well. You know that better than anybody.
Right. Well, I mean.
Or is that too big of a deal that I'm bringing up?
I think.
You tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is right now is the most important thing is to get the offensive linemen better and to push them and not be for the less rest on because they think they're starters. They don't have to be better. They need to play better. They need to play more consistent. They need to play 4 quarters. So I think you do whatever you can as a coach to make those players better. And so if you trust the 5 and you can just put 5 out there and they'll get better, that's one thing. But if you don't and they aren't, this is what you do. Start alternating. Hey, we're going to play you alternate until one of them's better than the other. That way you're keeping them fresh. But they wanted I think what they wanted and they got is you saw for 4 quarters, for the first time in a long time, Alabama played. All their players played as hard as they could for 4 quarters. And that's what you don't have a chance to win anything if you don't do that. And I think that was the message. What I was told is everybody, including all the GAs, everybody sprinted onto the field. That they all were going 100% the whole game.
If that's what it took.
And no personal foul penalties. So if you do that, you play as hard as you can, everybody. I mean, Coach Bryant used to play everybody almost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every third series, the quarterback went in. And it's a lot of times the whole second team would go in. And guess what? If they did good, he'd put them back out there again.
Well, Coach DeBoer did have this in particular on the backup quarterback position moving forward.
Yeah, he had something I've done a number of times over the years, going way back, but that's one of the more recent ones. And so, Jake bowed up. He bowed up, and thought Ty responded pretty well too, and it's one of those they kind of question probably at first why, but I think competition is just going to bring out the best in everyone. And I think that did that for Ty in his week of preparation. Obviously, it helps Austin. It gives him some energy to really go out there and we're looking at him. He got some quality snaps in the game, and across the board, we do that at other positions and don't really think twice about it. We guys rotating in at defensive positions. We do that at the offensive line, receiver personnel groupings. We're doing a lot of that. So again, competition, helping bring out the best. And, that's what Jake did. And I think that's what Ty did here this last week.
So is it fair to expect maybe we're going to see more than one quarterback Saturday morning?
I expect that every game. Yes, 100%. And my whole thing is, why not? I mean, heck, Coach Bryant did it. Why wouldn't anybody do it? I mean, seriously. It's just smart. I don't understand why everybody doesn't do it. Spurrier did it every game.
Every other snap.
Yeah, I mean, if you did bad, he'd pull you out and see how the other guy do. I get it. I get it. If you have a guy you can trust every down and you don't think he's going to get hurt, that's one thing. But obviously, that's not the case here. I think that I thought the quarterback play was unbelievable in that game. I don't care who they were playing. It's hard to do that against the air the way they looked, and that's what they said on TV that night, and I agree with them.
I wasn't listening to that broadcast. I know that shocks you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take our final timeout this first hour.
I thought they did a good job. Better than when that other guy's up there and all three of them talking at the same time. It's hard to watch.
That's the main reason why because they usually.
Yeah, there's only two.
Just stepping all over each other. Anyway, we try not to do that here in the afternoon as well. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout here up on the ledges, getting your ready for Braves and Cubs tonight. Yeah.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone. The
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. A clear and quiet night across the Tennessee Valley for this Tuesday night. Low temperatures fall into the upper 50s to lower 60s in some areas. Heading into our Wednesday, we warm into the upper 80s for the afternoon. Expect to continue to see plenty of sunshine.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Woody Anderson Ford Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Each Friday night with Scott Tyson on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They ought to have this down at the gate as soon as you come on up.
One of the best movies.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, if you have that plastic in your truck when you pull up, the guy at the gate just will not impress you.
Yeah. You may enter. So
Of course,
I know
I
Drew
look like the landscaper, so I don't get anything.
I know Drew's on his way up. Hopefully he's going to clean up as well up here for the Huntsville Quarterback Club as they meet on Tuesdays. And tonight it is Gary Otten, Haas Johnson, and Wes Neighbors. That is why we are front and center up here at the Ledges. But it's always fun to be back here at the Ledges. 256-576-4977.
We didn't show up here before, right?
The
quarterback club then?
It was a quarterback club. That was a while back, but we also did one show, I know, for the golf tournament, the Huntsville Championship. That was up here. I think it was the first year.
I don't think I did that one. I don't think.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, I was up here, and yeah, I'm not sure where you were, but yeah. Anyway. 256-576-4977, the telephone number.
Hey guys,
here
can I
is
bring up
what
some old business real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Congratulations to Kerry. He won our pick 2 from Friday. He called. And
Yes.
He's called me
Yes.
every day to see who won, and I finally found out. Congratulations, Kerry. We got your address in there.
Absolutely.
It's on Steve's computer.
Yeah, we're going to rummage around in a prize closet before you get you out there.
I shot that information out yesterday, but my apologies for not speaking that into existence over the airwaves. Coach DeBoer did have this to say on those Badgers coming down.
Yeah, we'll certainly look at that. I think there's a little more carryover with their defense just because of the same coordinator. And so, you're going to get a physical team, typical Wisconsin, a lot of pride in who they are, what their identity is. And that showed up in the first 2 games. Very when it comes to run game, just kind of rock solid, keeping things under wraps. I think it's 60 to 70 yards total in rushing over 2 games. They do what they do, and they're going to do it with great technique in all ways. And, balanced offense, I think, with the run game really setting up the play action, the shots, you're going to try to get your free access throws, get the ball out to receivers when you have to load the box. And so, there's some great fundamental things that they do, and we got to match the physicality with great effort, do a good job of getting ball carriers down, getting them into situations. I think just the name of the game would always be to put teams in down and distances they don't want to be in, make them uncomfortable, and you can pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
That is Kalen DeBoer yesterday talking to the media, and this is no doubt a bigger challenge than last week against Louisiana Monroe.
There's no doubt about that.
So the pressure is going to get amped up. It just kind of is what it is. And I don't know if you fully heard what Coach Saban said on Friday about the Alabama job as a whole. Not sure if I have time to play the whole thing, but here is a portion of what Nick had to say Friday.
So I think you got to be positive and show the players when they did it right. Here's the success we had. When we didn't do it right, whether it was even one player didn't do it right, maybe that's why they had success. But I do think that there was something in that game that is tough to understand, in my opinion, in that Alabama looked great going down the field on the first drive. Florida State gets the ball and goes right down the field and scores. And then the whole sort of psychological disposition of Alabama's team changed. For what reason? I don't know. Was it anxiety? Was it expectation? But one thing about coaching in Alabama, they expect you to win every game. And there's a high expectation, and the standard is really, really high for what you're supposed to accomplish and what you're supposed to do. You need to protect your players from that and give them a different way to compete in the game so they're not looking at the scoreboard. They're not worrying about the outcome. They can stay focused on the things that they need to do to compete in the game for 60 minutes and play one play at a time, so they're not worried about that, because that's all they hear everywhere they go, on social media, everywhere they go. They're expected to win. So you can't let that creep in, and that anxiety about being outcome oriented.
He's absolutely right. I mean, I think if you look at the game, that's what happened to the players on up the line. They got away from the run. They could have controlled the ball game with the run, and then they chose to not to. And then awfully, the defense played awful.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole game, except for the third and fourth part of the fourth quarter.
Sports Center update in theory next.
Time for early fall adventures. What could be better than zero down on a new Ford? That sounds good to me. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's football and camping season, and we've got a brand new Ford to take you there. Right now, Woody Anderson Ford has some strong $399 and $499 leases that come with zero down and 2 years of premium complimentary maintenance too. Choose a 2025 STX Crew Cab with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost for just $499 a month. Or choose its electric brother, the F-150 Lightning, just $399 a month. Woody Anderson Ford also has 25 Broncos, Explorers for $499 a month, and Bronco Sport and Escape for only $399 a month. And remember, these leases are zero down, and they come with 2 years of complimentary maintenance. 36-month leases with zero down, first payment due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax, tag, and title fees, and your good credit. These offers end 9/30/25. Now's the time for a Woody Anderson Ford. I'm Bobby White, and we hope to see you soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL has fined Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter $57,000 for spitting on Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott Thursday because he was ejected before participating in a play. The league said it will consider he's already served a one-game suspension, so he can play this week. The 49ers putting tight end George Kittle on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. He'll miss games against the Saints, Cardinals, Jaguars, and Rams. Niners not sure if they'll have quarterback Brock Purdy this Sunday due to shoulder and toe injuries, explains ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
And the toe is actually more problematic right now than the shoulder. They want to evaluate him as the week goes on, and it's clear that his status right now is up in the air. And if Purdy can't go, then Mac Jones would start on Sunday at New Orleans against the Saints.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike. One more note on the Niners. Receiver Juwan Jennings' shoulder scans came back clean, indicating he avoided any significant injury. He's considered day-to-day. Bengals starting right guard Lucas Patrick put on IR with a calf injury, so he's out at least the next 4 games. Baseball in a matchup of teams in the hunt for that final AL wildcard spot. Guardians leading the Royals 1-0 bottom 2 thanks to a solo shot by Jose Ramirez. NL East leading Phillies and Mets scoreless bottom 1. New York holds the final NL wildcard spot. Big injury hit for the AL East leading Blue Jays offense. Shortstop Bo Bichette's landed on the injured list with a sprained left knee. The Cubs put outfielder Kyle Tucker on the injured list with a calf strain. Chicago holds the top NL wildcard spot.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, we saw some impressive debuts from old quarterbacks in new places. I'll tell you which ones are sustainable. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back inside Falcon Crest here on a Tuesday evening. Tomorrow we're at Baumhauer's Victory Grill, and then that'll roll right into Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. But here's a little bit more of what Coach Saban had to say to Pat McAfee on Friday.
Affect their performance.
What do you think? And I know you know him and you're in the building and you obviously care deeply about the Alabama football program. Kalen DeBoer sits down after that game, looks in the mirror, and has a massive moment with himself, you think? Is that one of those types of games where it gets loud enough that you think he is really, I don't want to say in a whirlwind, but the reality of what he is signed up to do kind of hits him? You think that happened after week 1?
I don't think there's any question about it. You know, Kalen is a really good guy. He's a good coach. He's always had success everywhere he's been. Maybe he hadn't had to deal with this kind of scrutiny in the past, but if you're going to be successful, you got to be able to self-assess and figure out, hey, what can I do better? And I know that he's reaching out to a lot of people trying to do that. And hopefully they can turn around this week and develop some confidence on this team so they can move forward in a positive way.
How many national championships did you win?
7.
How many did you lose?
3.
Okay, so Kalen DeBoer, when you talk about big shoes to fill, I don't know how long all your national championships are, the trophies, when you stack them up. But, boy, feels like those shoes were going to be tough to fit. And Kalen DeBoer, we thought was going to be the right guy to handle it, still has a chance, right? We shouldn't just give up completely on this entire situation, which I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people have given up. There's a season left, right? We can still think that way?
Yeah, and I think that's the way the players should think. That's the way the coaches should think. And I say they got to stay focused on what they need to do to teach and get better, create roles for the players on their team and how they can support the team. You know, there's one thing about this that you and I, when we played, you know, we wanted to do well. We wanted to be good. But we also had a responsibility to those guys over there standing on the sidelines that was on our team. And that's a responsibility that everybody's got to figure out in this day and age of football when there's so much individual name, image, and likeness transfer. And once you decide and make a commitment to a team, you got to do a good job for yourself, but you also owe it to the guys standing on the sidelines or in the huddle with you. And I think that's an important thing for all these guys to understand.
I mean,
that is a little bit more there, Coach Saban, on his back and forth with Pat McAfee, and thought there was a lot of really good information inside
100%
there for Coach Saban. And Alabama did build off of a very positive performance on Saturday.
Well, they got better, and you see the freshmen getting better. I mentioned what a good class they were when I went to see them in practice, and that was over a month ago, and you can see how they're developing. And I think that'll push, one person I've been very disappointed in, and for the last 4 or 5 games he's played in is Ryan Williams. And, I think him being so young has affected his in the NIL and the notoriety has affected his play. He dropped 2 or 3 balls in practice when I was I didn't mention that because and then you see him, they transfer to the game when he drops 2 or 3. But I think him having to sit and watch all his teammates be successful all the wide receivers be successful. I don't care who it's against, right? And to see them the way they play, I think that might help him.
The power of the bench.
100%. Whether, and sometimes you have to step back and say, okay, these guys are doing this and this and this. For you he needs to rise. So far, he's taken a couple steps back. Whether that's NIL, I think it is. And being 17 and now he's 18, being so young. How do you handle success? How do you handle failure? How do you handle success? Alabama handled failure very well. They got better this week. How do you handle the success now? How do you handle like Georgia last year when they beat Georgia? They didn't handle the success very well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they handle success. Sometimes it's a lot harder to handle success than it is to handle disappointment.
Well, it does remind me, at least what I've heard several times from Coach Saban, of the air gets thinner as you go up that mountain.
The rat poison.
Yeah, and that's real.
But everybody's calling for your head coach, and you didn't play 100%. And we saw them respond. That's what I was looking for. That's all you can expect. They don't get to pick the opponent. But now let's see what they do against Wisconsin. And if they get better every week, I wouldn't want to be paying them in week 7 or 8.
Well,
because they got a lot of talent.
Well, here in a couple of weeks, they'll be traveling over to Athens, Georgia, to take on the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, to me, I don't really care if they win that game or not. I already had it as a loss. They get to lose 3 games, but they got to play really good.
That 3 losses cost them last year for a playoff.
Yeah, but they lost them at the end of the year. I don't think that if they have 4 losses, they're not getting in. Somebody in the SEC is going to be brutal this year. I think that's fairly obvious.
Yeah. I mean, we think. I mean,
unless they get a lot of people, everybody starts getting people hurt.
I didn't feel a whole lot of positivity, honestly. I know you did not sit down with me with Rich Clark, the executive director of the College Football Playoff. Seeing is believing. I think that's going to drive most of this conversation of the next step of this expanding to 16 and maybe even more.
One conversation, you
take it more out of the committee's hands and into the coaches.
Well, if they do it again, then they're no doubt. But you can't worry about stuff like that at this point. You just got to get your team better.
Yeah,
and you can't worry about things you can't control at this point.
One other comment that I wanted to pass along, at least play it, was Tim Keenan. We mentioned him yesterday. Obviously injured, the tightrope surgery, but still being a leader on this team, so much so that there was a communication right before the Louisiana-Monroe game, and here is what Coach DeBoer had to say on speaking with one of his team leaders before a big game.
Well, TK, I can say this. He really missed not being at the game in week 1, and he's a high-energy guy. And I know that I really challenged him and told him we needed that for our team. And so it wouldn't surprise me that, we had that exchange and him bringing that energy, not just to our players, but our coaching staff, including me. So, I really appreciate, he's a captain. He's poured into this program a lot. I do remember now, it was on the sideline there, him standing right there right before kickoff. And so, that's TK. He loves this team, and he's been nothing but the high-end support and, giving everything you got, and that includes me, and, feel very supported by him for sure, to answer your question.
You need guys like that, but certainly you also need him on the field sooner rather than later. But this is a surgery that after speaking the last couple of weeks when the guys from Johnson and Hayes, makes me think that realistically to get the kind of TK that you want, 2 months?
Be a minute.
2 months?
No, I think it's 6 weeks. I think it's definitely 6 weeks. 100%. Yeah.
So you're talking late October.
Yeah, I think he'll play. So Georgia will be 5 weeks since he hurt it.
Okay.
So next week. But he might try to play. If he doesn't have any injury, if he can't hurt it any worse, and he can play with pain, you got to suck it up. Right? The whole is it 100? You have pain. There's a difference between pain and hurting it more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you could, he's not obviously going to be playing on third down.
Yeah.
But on first and second, he's almost impossible to block. But he is elite. He's on run defenses on first and second down. He can be elite because of his quickness, and he won't have the quickness. But he's still, if he can give you 10 plays in the game and be a leader, that's because they're not going to move him. Georgia's guys are so tall they won't even be able to touch him.
Folks continuing to file in here at the Ledges. Some tells me Gary Otten's going to show up at
He's
7.
Here.
Yeah,
there he is right there.
So I noticed he waved at you, but you think we can get a headset on him?
I don't know if it'll go around his head. He's got coming near over here.
I can try, right? He's
Absolutely.
right there. Can you grab Mr. Otten for him, please? Please.
It had to be.
I mean, seriously, how long in the making is that moment right there?
Gary Otten's a great guy. There's no doubt about that.
Well, hopefully we might get a chance to visit with him. But you and him, as well as Hoss Johnson, will be front and center for the folks here tonight at the Huntsville Quarterback Club. And
you get in free. You over there trying to play him?
Good. Please put a headset on for me.
Yeah.
Please put a
live. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, please.
Coach Otten.
I need a few backstories on Wes Neighbors over here.
We got a few, don't we? A few we can tell, and a bunch we can't tell.
Yeah, no
okay, so what can't you tell?
No, we ain't going down that road.
So Gary and I were roommates.
Yep, when we first went down there, we were roommates, and
we were mortal enemies in high school.
Yeah,
Gary's one of the only persons ever knocked me on my ass, straight on my ass.
I think that's what got me the scholarship down there too. Yeah, I think you told your dad. And your dad told Coach Bryant, and
that was it.
That was it. I was in. But, yeah. No, me and Wes, we're a little different. I'm kind of neat. He's not so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
But we had the best stereo system.
Oh,
by far, all the campus.
Well, what were you pumping on the stereo system?
I remember some Donna Summer and,
we
and
played
Van
everything.
Halen, and I mean,
Led Zeppelin.
The first time I heard it was during the All-Star Week.
Yeah.
We were in some dorm there in Tuscaloosa, and Wes would bring his stereo and put it out in the hallway. You could hear it in the shower, and it was pumping through the whole.
Who was your roommate for the All-Star game?
You know what? I got no idea.
Really?
I can't remember.
Jeff Parks.
Yeah, I remember.
Was mine.
Yeah, I can't remember who mine was. Yeah, but. Oh, yeah.
So what story can you tell me about Wes?
Wes, I'm telling you what. Wes was the greatest player that never practiced.
That's what they all say.
The worst position on the team was the backup center because you practiced all week, but you didn't play. Friday nights, Wes would go see a healer and get healed, and come Saturday morning, he's fully healed and ready to go and go out there and ball out. What a great player he was.
All those touchdowns you score in practice don't count. Steve.
No, No. And Wes was smart because I tell people all the time, all the aches and pains I got now ain't from the football games. They were all from the practices. Football game you get 70 reps. In practice you got about 400. And there was no rules back then. There wasn't no off days.
Did you come in the same class?
Oh yeah, me, Hoss, and Gary were all signed the same year, and we already had Adcock and Willard Sisson and Ricky Moore and
Hardy
and Scott McRae,
Steve Booker. Had a bunch of
from Huntsville. Well, we all grew up playing against each other.
Yeah, Butch Worley was a kicker, came in with us.
Yeah. Butch's dad played for the General Neyland in Tennessee, and I used to go to the games with his granddad, and Butch, and we went to games since we were 10 together.
Yeah.
Yeah, every Tennessee. I've at one time I'd been to every Tennessee game, all but 5 when I was like 30, 35, something like that, something crazy like that. But I don't go to games like I used to.
No,
you start having kids and they start playing, and then you start having grandkids. It gets worse, I think.
This is what made it worse when they started winning. I mean, 2006, Coach Shula's last year. Of course, we got the order tickets.
Right.
So order tickets down to LSU. Me and my buddies, we always go down to New Orleans, take a bus over. So in 2006, my tickets were on the 50-yard line, about 5 rows up. And we just watched Alabama get drilled down there. So Coach Saban comes in 7. So in 2008, 2 years later, get my tickets, the Letterman tickets order. They were on the very top row in the upper deck. I don't know if you've ever been in the upper deck at LSU. It is up there.
Yeah, if the blink comes by, you're not seeing any of the game.
If it's cloudy, you miss a quarter. Yeah. But in 2 years, I remember when Shula was there, I'd go down and park at the museum, free, and then walk to the stadium.
Yeah.
2 years later, now you got to pay $40. You're parking up by Druid Hospital and walking. And I mean, it just went nuts in a hurry.
Yeah, and everybody's from New York now.
Yeah.
New York, Texas, which is I love. I'm glad they're doing well. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. But, it's just hard to go to the game when you have so many other things to do for us. But what people don't know is you were a head coach at West Georgia.
University of West Georgia, Division II school in the Gulf South Conference.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, coached there for 13 years, was an offensive line coach for 9, and then was offensive coordinator, offensive line coach for 3, and then head coach for 1 year before I got out. Came back to Huntsville. Yeah, so.
Do you miss it, coaching?
You know what? Division II, a lot of challenges, not a lot of money, a lot of bus rides.
Yes, sir.
But I miss the relationship with the kids, to watch them grow and improve. And, I still have many, many relationships with a lot of those guys over there that are.
You got to want to go to Cleveland, Mississippi. There is no direct route to Cleveland,
especially
Mississippi.
From Carrollton, Georgia.
Amen.
And then all the Arkansas schools came in. Monticello, If you ain't never been to Monticello, Arkansas,
by bus.
And there's
Harding's a different animal too.
Harding, all of them over there. Southern Art, the Mule Riders, and But the problem was you play at night. 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. West Georgia Eastern time.
Right.
So you're not leaving Arkansas until midnight.
At the best.
And, you 10, 11 hours. So you get back
you
to
get to
Carrollton
see the sunrise, don't you?
At 11 o'clock. And guess what? You got a game the next week. So it ain't going home and resting. And you go right to work. You try to sleep the best you can on the bus ride home. And, boy, it's brutal.
Proud to say that I do know Mitch Gray decently well. And he is recovering well. But he was the longtime broadcaster for West Georgia in the Georgia Broadcaster Hall of Fame as well.
Oh, and he needs to be. He was fantastic. You talk about somebody that loved West Georgia too. He loved it. But he had a stroke, and that ended his broadcast career. But he is on the mend and doing well. And I go back for a golf tournament, Union golf tournament every year. I always see him, and it's always a lot of fun. Go back and hang out with those guys.
Were you there when Ed was there?
Ed Murphy. Yeah. Loved Ed Murphy. You know, he was a basketball coach and AD. He knew how to win.
Yes, sir.
He knew how to win. I'll never forget. We we were filled up scholarships in the summer. Had a kid from SMU, Texas kid, by the name of Mark Eldred, wanted to transfer, and his dad got stationed in Georgia somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, or Noonan, somewhere close.
Okay.
So he was going to leave SMU and come. So we're watching the tape on him, and this guy's carving up Houston and everybody. I mean, he's throwing it all over the place. And I remember the head coach at the time, Charlie Fisher, said, "Big old Gary, come here and watch this kid." So he's throwing. I said, "Man, that kid ain't coming here. I mean, he's too good." And he goes, "Yeah, no, he wants to come here." And I was like, "No, there's no way that kid wants to come here." And sure enough, he did. But then, you had equivalencies. So, we had a scholarship budget. We already used our scholarship budget, but we wasn't at the 36 that we could allow under NCAA rules. So we had no money. So our head coach went into Coach Murphy and said, "Look, you got to give us some money. We got a chance to get this quarterback." And he said, "I'll show him to you." And Ed said, "No, if you think he's worth it, I'll get you the money." So he gave us the money to get that kid, and that's when we started really winning football games then.
West Georgia just got through beating Samford.
Yeah, and Nichols, and they beat Nichols.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
They beat Nichols this last weekend.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat to see. But when when they were Division II, when you saw that upgrade facility-wise, writing was on the wall.
Oh, yeah. When I first got there, we'd have 150 kids on 36 scholarships.
Sounds like some of that math.
But I had to learn. The guy had to teach me how to build lockers. We had to build more lockers. So you can't hire it. You got no money, so you got to do it yourself. But our shower, we had one shower head for 150 kids. And we had one standard wash machine and one standard dryer to try to wash clothes.
Wow.
I mean, it was ridiculous when this was 1989. So
be careful what you ask for.
Plenty of practice fields out.
Yeah. And, I just come from Alabama and went there. And I was like, what the hell did I get into? But the kids were great. I mean, loved it over there. Great community, great kids. Loved recruiting the state of Georgia. Georgia people are great, just like Alabama people. It was a really wonderful 13 years at the University of West Georgia.
What was your favorite part about playing, not coaching?
Playing was the actual games.
Yeah,
I wasn't a big fan of practice either. But it's what you had to do to play. Actual playing the game. And I tell people all the time, there's nothing better than going against a guy and just taking his will from him.
Yes.
Just keep hitting him and where he don't want no more. And you just know that
it's over. They're looking for a place to lay down. All you have to do is give it to him.
Yeah.
Are you seeing what he's seeing in terms of lack of physical play along the line?
I'm concerned about our offensive line. Yeah, and and the defensive pass rush from inside. I just don't see us getting a good pass rush inside. And
they did better with 42. I think he's going to be a player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need some of them inside guys.
42. The young guy, young
Gansey, Pierre or something.
Yeah, Pierre.
Yeah.
One of those French guys.
Yeah. But it's good to get the outside guy, but you need them inside guys, too, to make a push up the middle. Because you can always step up.
Well, that's what I told Steve when I went to practice. They don't have anybody that's going to be a number one pick. They got their best player is hurt. I mean, and he does at times get a push on Tim Keenan. And he's not going to be a first rounder, but he might go in the second or third round. It's one of those deals where the defensive linemen are so spread out now because you can only pay one or two of them. You can't. It's hard to get 4 or 5 like you had before.
Yeah, but if you just had one, like Quinnen Williams or Jonathan Allen or big Marcel Darius, I mean, you just need one of those guys to get some kind of push so the quarterback can't step up to let them ends
do their thing.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Who's this right here?
Oh, no. We're in trouble. I tell you what,
we're going back to 1982, buddy.
82. Yeah. You remember that? You remember when we signed? We went down to Fred Sankton and met.
Yeah.
I still got that picture.
Yeah.
So
the picture, we went to the in the spring. We had Coach Bryant said we weren't going to win a game. Remember, we were at that night. We were at the down here at the river.
Yeah, Ditto
Scott McCrae was there.
I still got some pictures from that.
Yeah, I
day.
do too. I was looking at it not long ago.
Yeah.
Good seeing y'all.
Yeah, y'all remember when Coach Bryant, this is how powerful Coach Bryant was. Home visits. Normally he'd go to Wes's house and then come to my house and then go over to Haas's house. That's the way head coaches normally do it. What Coach Bryant did is, hey, I'm going to Wes's house. Gary, you and your family come over. Hoss, you and your family come. So we all went to Wes's house, so he didn't have to go to 3 places, and we were more than happy to do it.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to come, but my grandmother had cancer.
Yeah.
And I had to cancel.
Oh, did you?
I called Coach Campbell. He recruited all of us. Yeah. And then I said, Coach, my grandmother can't go, and she wants to meet Coach. And, Coach Campbell, well, Hoss, I'll take care of it. Let me talk to Coach. And then he left over there and came over. Yeah, well, I was supposed to come over there because I'm like, hey, I didn't have to help my grandmother clean up the house because she wasn't feeling good. So, anyway, I remember that. That was like, was it downstairs?
I think it was.
I just remember Hoss picked between Liberty Baptist and Alabama.
Yeah.
And the year before, his buddy, Bobby Lee Hurt, picked from Hawaii and Alabama.
Yeah.
It was a Butler thing.
Oh,
they were confused over there.
So Bobby, it was told Bobby got offered by Jim Neighbors, Gomer Powell, because he graduated from Alabama, a job making $25 an hour if he went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So Coach Bryant found out, and anyway, he calls my dad. And I'm getting recruited, so he knew him. He called Dad and said, hey, is this true? And I'm like, no, because Bobby's dad worked for my dad. Wasn't true at all. I said, yeah, he's getting recruited, but they never offered. They were going to put him in movies or something probably.
Yeah.
But Bobby, could you see him in Hawaii? Boys, hey, Lord of mercy, Showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. The way he ate chicken that night at Bob Howard's twice.
Oh, my goodness.
We had him on the air twice.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, we used to go down to, you remember the mayor owned, Tommy Battle owned Britland's?
Yeah.
He owned it. We went down there, and me and Bobby been washing buses. And Bobby could wash the front of a bus, a Greyhound bus, didn't need a ladder. He get up there, he's wiping 10 feet high. Seriously, y'all. So we're cleaning buses up.
I've seen
inside.
the commercial.
Hey, and so Bobby, we go down and eat, and Bobby, we sat at a round table for 6 people. We went back and about the 15th piece apiece. Tommy came out and goes, when are y'all leaving? It looked like a tornado went through the bones everywhere. So,
I played basketball against Bobby Lee in high school. It didn't go very good.
Yeah. Oz was good too.
Yeah, we'd practice. Coach Dugan would bring a broom out. We'd have to shoot over a broom.
Yeah, well, Gary and I played against each other in Chapman and West Lawn.
West
and then
Lawn.
we got to Lee and Butler, and I played him. And then when Bobby shows up, the next time I saw you was my senior year. Bobby gone, so I got, because we had Norris Gurley. And, Norris Gurley's son was a receiver for South Carolina, and he does some stuff on Corey Gurley. He does stuff on ESPN. So, but it was good seeing y'all up here. I didn't know. I heard the noise, but I was coming from football practice, and I couldn't tell. It sounded like I couldn't. Well, what restaurant is this? So we're gonna have a good time tonight talking. So, my son's got. I appreciate y'all coming, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, Wes tells me the hardest hit he ever had at Alabama was from you.
No, it was, and it was a twist.
He had his damn eyes closed, 100%.
No,
hit me right in the ribs.
It's called, you know what I call it? The Stevie Wonder block. I just closed my eyes and went and hit somebody and said, ooh, that was good.
Yeah, the guy that picked up your guy got
Wes looked like somebody shot.
Most of my injuries from Hoss.
Hey, he started stumbling. I hit him. Well, they did the twist. I come down and wham. And man, next thing I'm like, well, I hit him good. And, oh no, that was Wes. So I figured, I didn't know who hit me. That story will come out tonight in here already, so I'm expecting that. So I told Gary, I told Wes earlier, I said, us three got to make a treaty on some things we don't need to tell. But we know that. So I've told Steve that. I said, Steve, there's some stuff I can't share with you.
Steve wants dirt. That's all he wants.
Yeah. And I know. That's what I know. It's like when Bobby Lee comes on sometimes, I'll text Wes.
So
said,
did you know this?
Ask questions.
So did you know that Bobby Lee stole Hoss's truck?
I did not know
Battery.
Battery. Well, but same difference.
Same difference. I couldn't drive it.
So Bobby Lee in the middle of the night got in Hoss's, his car wouldn't start, so he borrowed his battery and went to Birmingham, which he has one of his daughters is from that trip.
Oh, okay.
So they should have never named her Everready. Anyway, Hoss goes to church. He goes to start his car. Wouldn't start.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure it out.
Right in front of Brian Hall. It would not start.
Well, I'll tell you one time, me and Danny Holcomb was a snapper backer. He was a senior when we were freshmen. Him and I decided we were going to go to Jacksonville State to see some of my friends. Gary's coming back from study hall. Where were you coming back from? Anyway, he goes, "Where y'all going?" I said, "We're going to Jacksonville." You want to go? He goes, "Yeah." I did. Didn't have a stitch of clothes. Nothing. When we went to Jacksonville, that was a fun trip.
Had a fun time.
Yeah.
Had a fun time.
That was back when you just traveled. You could go do stuff. And we were in the dorm. The athletic dorms should have never gone away. That would bring a lot of discipline back. But the athletic dorms are just that.
Well, they have a dorm now, though.
No, but it's for 2 years, right?
For 2 years. And I think that's
Yeah, but it's just
but that's if you make your grades.
Oh yeah. We had some guys that were in study hall.
Still be there.
They were in study hall till they were seniors. Like, man, you've been in study hall since 1980, and it's 1984, and we're fixing to be seniors coming up in a few years.
The worst thing that happened to me that I remember that scared the death out of me, and Gary was with me, we decided we were going to go early out to practice. I don't remember why, but we were going early, and we were walking out there, just walking with our helmets. You remember this?
No, we keep going.
Anyway, nobody's out there, just us. And all of a sudden, Coach Bryant pulls up behind us with that cart.
I remember.
He goes, "Don't walk on my field." I mean, I thought I almost passed out. My heart started beating. Gary looked.
Well, you had the added bonus of he could make a phone call to somebody about you.
He didn't have to call anybody.
I remember eating in the cafeteria, me and three guys sitting in there, and I can't remember who it was, but had an empty seat. You know, we're talking, having a good time. All of a sudden, Coach Bryant sits down at that table. Of course, we all shut up immediately. And we don't move. All we do is move our eyes. We don't even move our head. You know, and he sits down and eats, and he says, "How your boys doing?" "We're good, Coach." You know, and then not another word was said for 20 minutes. He gets up and leaves, and we're all
praise the Lord. I mean, he shows up. He did that. I can show you right where in Brighton Hall. It's not now, but he sits down, and we're all like, and I got to look around in here. You get instantly constipated. You can't eat nothing. You go. And you freeze.
He walked in a room, you could hear the air suck out of him.
He was a big man.
Yeah.
People don't realize how big he was.
He was huge.
Well, you remember walking in the meeting rooms?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like he started to wave in college football because you'd be sitting in the back, and all of a sudden the front row at the meeting room, he was coming out, and I start sitting up, and you go, "Oh, Coach is in town. Coach is in."
But you can see Mal be over here squirming.
Yeah, and then
you can look at Mal and tell where he was.
Everybody would put 2 feet on the floor, sit up straight, look straight, you know.
Well, the coaches were talking, and all of a sudden they're like all real serious, and you don't realize that till you get through. Yeah. And then all of a sudden
it was just when Coach Perkins was there, it wasn't the same.
No.
I mean, I think he did a good job in most everything he did, but it's just hard, and I think Kalen DeBoer's kind of going through the same thing.
He is.
It's just a tough transition. I think he's going to make it based on how they played last week, because against Air, it's hard to do what they did.
Yeah.
But they got to learn how to fight through adversity. And these guys, I don't think you might have heard Coach Saban talking to
Pat McAfee last Friday.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
It was it was really impressive.
Spot on.
Yeah. And basically he says that's why at Alabama he came up with you got to play the next play. You can't be thinking about results because there's so much pressure about results on you.
Coach Saban was a great football coach, but I think he might be a greater ESPN. I mean, he is so good.
He's a psychologist. He needs to be a psychologist.
He really is. I mean,
you guys were brainwashed.
He brainwashes every one of them on the set. They go, this guy's. I mean, to instantly show up like that, you don't just, Of course, it helps with having his wife at home. She's kind of keeps after him.
I've got to ask at least. I've heard so many Coach Fuller stories.
Oh no!
Is there a quintessential Coach Fuller story? Gary,
I remember one time. Of course, he had that cigarette hidden. He'd hold
talk
it.
about it all the time. Yeah,
during the game.
Well, the listeners are well aware because he stick it when he start drawing on the side. He stick it, start drawing.
Yeah.
Well, and we had a Catholic priest on the sideline.
Yes,
I can't remember the guy's name, but so Coach Fuller's on the sideline and he's just cussing somebody, referee, some player, something. He looks over at the priest. Excuse me, Father. And goes right back at
So we're at practice and he is wearing me out and he calls me a SOB, not a son of a Baptist, but he says he's cussing me, and
that's what he meant though, Hoff.
So after practice, I said, Coach, what you messed up, and I was the oldest guy on the team. That's just my junior year, so it's 85. And he goes, "What do you mean? You missed block?" I said, "I hit Roper. I didn't hit Wayne Davis." "Oh, that wasn't you?" I said, "No, sir." So then we go to the bowl game in Hawaii, and we're on the plane, and you could smoke on the plane, and he's sitting right by my mom and dad, and he goes, "Hey, Cotton," he said, "Got this cigarette." He's smoking. "I'll ever tell you I called him a SOB." And so that's my dad. And I said, my dad goes, "No, he never did. He never told me." He said, "Because I never called Dad up. That's just,
That's probably one of the nicer things he called you, too.
I call it the 3 F's to football. Right?
Yeah.
And you can't say the first two, but the fat ass was there.
That was a good one.
That one in the stadium. So he's yelling it so much. And he got mad. They said, "Coach, you can't do that." They come down and he starts going. And we're in Bryant Denny with 60,000, and it echoed all concrete. "You bunch of FAs." He's hollering it. And then I don't know if it's at practice or close to it. Bill Jordan gets hurt.
Oh, God.
And Bill Jordan is hollering. He's hollering. He's hurt across
He tore every ligament in both knees.
Yes.
At the same time. And they moved him. I think him and Ford had it out about the week before. They moved him to defense from offense. And Bill Jordan became we always said he's going to be a state trooper, but he actually became a sheriff in Hoover, and then he moved somewhere else, I think, eventually. And then he's been passed away for years. He was the first guy. He had to weigh 370, didn't he?
No, he was over 300.
315, but I saw him do a 360 dunk.
I did too.
From the free throw line. He's 6'7". He had some fat on him. He did a 360 dunk. And
he wasn't very, very well motivated.
No, he was. No, him and a couch were cousins. I mean, he just bless his heart. But you remember what Fuller said? He's hurting Bill's over like.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to.
Coach Fuller goes. He looks around. He's already in trouble for saying FA too much. So he acronyms now FA. He goes. Bill's hollering. Bill, Coach Fuller yells, "Shoot him!"
Put him out his misery.
We were going.
He said something different to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying what he said to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I was practicing that day.
Yeah. Shocker.
No, I was dressed out. I think that was, I'd been hurt, but I'd been practicing, but they wouldn't let me scrimmage that day.
Yeah. And Wes might miss practice, but I'm going to do what? Game day, he showed up. And showed out.
Well, right? I found out there was a healing ceremony every Friday night.
Oh, yeah. Hey, every Friday night.
It might have been that Catholic priest.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you had dust on your shoulders. He's done been over sprinkling you.
Well, this has been a good pre-show for all of you guys to get on the same page. It's great to have all y'all. Seriously.
It's fun. It's hard we don't get together a lot, but when we do, it's the same stories, and our kids, they hear us and they'll go, "You need to." I've been meaning to go to Wes's house for 7 years. Finally made it a few months ago, and then Gary and I would do stuff together, and it's just hard. It's just we need to do it more, but it's just
Well, you guys are always welcome, and please don't be strangers. This is fantastic.
Oh, no, it's fun. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Y'all for coming up here.
Absolutely. Y'all have fun tonight.
We will.
And that is going to wrap us up because there's really no coming back from this. Here up on the ledges, Braves baseball comes up next. We'll be at Baumhauer's Victory Grill coming up tomorrow. That's your preview tonight for the Huntsville Quarterback Club. Thank you very much, Brian Temple. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today.